Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Levinson Weekly Training Webinar Series. First off, I want to apologize. I know we're about 5 minutes late on the start. We had a small technical issue, but everything's fine. So I appreciate your patience. I think it'll be well worth the time spent today. We're going over some great new platforms, products, technology, some new sales ideas that we came up with. I think you're going to love, especially towards the end of the year, holiday time. I have a great door opener that I'm going to talk about. So some really, really neat stuff. We're also going to talk today about Columbus Life. We have Jason joining us. And I just want to say real quick before we jump in, we're not just inviting and talking about a new carrier, just because it's a new A+ rated company with Levinson. No. The bottom line is they have some niche platform strategies, products, underwriting enhancements, a table shave program that no one else has today in the industry. So in my opinion, if you're an agent out there selling in the trenches, you need to have this in your toolbox, okay, point blank. And I think you're going to agree with us by the time we finish up. But I have never seen, obviously we have some of the best products, carriers, for a long, long time now, and it's our job to go out and find those carriers. But I've never seen such a diverse set of products, platforms, underwriting concessions, and the agent support that we get from the carrier and Jason is second to none. And I really mean that when I say it. And I think that, once again, you'll agree by the time that we finish up today in about 45 minutes. So make sure you have a pen and paper handy. Okay, make sure you're taking down notes. Use that Q&A box on the left-hand side. If it's not up right now, you can just expand your pane. But I want you to make sure that we hear from you. Questions, comments. We're going to send out the recording and then licensing, okay, so you can get started. Plus, if you're already appointed with this carrier through another IMO, you can move it over to us. We match, or most of the time beat, your current commission, plus you get free leads or cash with contracting in your first application. Okay, so it really is a win-win-win across the board. Okay, plus, and now icing on the cake, I just thought of this. With us exclusively, we have the SAGE scholarship program with their products. So that's another freebie, another feather in your cap, another differentiator when you're out there quoting Columbus and quoting life insurance in general, because you can throw in this 1-year scholarship that, by the way, is now up to 441 colleges across the country, 441 colleges in the program. So, that is insane. We're adding like 2 to 3 every month now. Okay, so you should be in the platform and be a SAGE approved agent. You can do that through us, through Levinson. And again, Columbus is one of our approved carriers, and it's free for you, free for the client. So there's no small print, no gray area. And we even have a direct to consumer link in the Insure Me Now direct platform, which means your client can just go to your website on Insure Me Now Direct. They can click and they can literally enroll themselves in less than 5 minutes. Okay, you can do it with them, or they can do it at 2 a.m. when you're sleeping. Doesn't really make a difference. Okay, I'm going to go over some of the bullets. I don't want to steal any of Jason's thunder, but I'm just going to tell you why I'm so excited about today's presentation. Okay, real fast. So again, A+ rated, which is awesome. Non-med underwriting with an EAP up to $1 million. Built-in living benefits, a table shave, true table reduction program. This isn't some fluff where everybody's table 4, because they didn't qualify. No, this is real. And what that means, if you have a client, right, with another carrier that came in table 1, 2, or 3, standard with Columbus, as long as you fall into the parameters, which are very liberal. So that's within itself is huge. You can save a client 30, 40, 50% of premium just with that little niche. Okay. We have a survivorship product as well, an external term conversion program. Okay, we don't see those anymore. So that's a big one. Okay, and that's approved with most traditional carriers. Sage approved, as you know. Let's see, top IUL product portfolio. We're going to show you why we feel it's one of the best. Also a very low cost GUL alternative, which is great if you're playing in the term space, because you can sell a permanent term or GUL, okay, for not much more than a 30 or 40-year term. So some really cool stuff. We're also going to talk about a new sales strategy, actually two new strategies that we put together this morning. One is on the SBA loans, okay, for SBA loan protection. It's a slam dunk sale, by the way. Number two is the ultimate door opener for parents and grandparents for gifting for the holidays, for the holiday season. Okay, I'm going to show you an example at $60 a month what that can do for a child or grandchild. Okay, your mind is going to be blown, and you're going to say, Bill, I need to market this afternoon, because I don't know a grandparent or a parent that's going to say no to this. Okay, literally, and I'm not trying to sell any fluff here. Okay, you'll see why. All right, let's jump right in here, Andrew. Okay, moving forward, just in this morning, this is freaking amazing. It just goes to show you we all picked the right career path here. Okay, if you're an agent on the retail side, wonderful. If you're recruiting, wonderful. If you're an IMO, even better. If you're a carrier, even better. Why? Because LIMRA Stats for Q3 of 2021 just came in, and again, double-digit record-breaking growth. That is amazing. Okay, look at the red box in front of you. Total life insurance new annualized premium grew 18% in Q3, representing the third consecutive quarter of double-digit growth according to LIMRA. Okay, there's no fluff here, by the way. This is all from LIMRA. I'm going to point out just a couple things real quick in this article, and we're going to share this in the thank you email, but these are things that you need to know, because if you're not growing your business right now, okay, they always say you're sliding or you're increasing, right? There's no middle area. You're never coasting. And if you're not growing, you're not maximizing these new opportunities, point blank. Okay, there's so much right now between social media, some of these niche programs you should be marketing, and Show Me Now Direct, some of these new non-med underwriting programs with a one-page drop ticket. I mean, you can sign up a client in less than 7 minutes, get them approved, and print and save their policy before you hang up the phone. Okay, you should be running with this. When you hear about my SBA loan strategy, okay, I think you're going to agree with me that you need to be growing your business right now. And hopefully you're on the green side and not the red. But just a couple pointers real fast. Okay, let's, well, actually, I'm going to send this article out today, but I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and I want to share something with you real fast. Give me 1 second. Here we go. IUL. Okay, we're talking about IUL today. Now, this is LIMRA statistic. Okay, it's a fact. IUL new premium jumped 21% in Q3. Okay, so just think about that. Everyone now is thinking about IUL, right? And here with Columbus, between scholarship, cash accumulation, this is a slam dunk. IUL represented 26% of all life insurance premiums sold in Q3. Okay, so think about that statistic. A quarter of all life premium sold was indexed universal life, folks. Do you think you need to be comfortable with selling IUL? Okay, do you think you should be using our IUL sales system and software? Do you think you want to mail out our IUL prospecting books, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's time, okay, to some of your clients that this would be a good fit for? By the way, the book tees up an IUL sale for you, okay? And today's winner, because we have our question of the day, as you know, we do that every week. Today's winner is going to get your choice. We have the tablet, the new Amazon Fire 7, or Amazon Echo. Plus, I'm going to throw in the new IUL prospecting book. Okay, but they say the proof is in the pudding. And when you hear a quarter of all life premiums sold was IUL, okay, that tells me I don't care what side of the market you're on, you better know how IUL works and know enough to be dangerous, as I always say. All right. Now, real fast, fixed UL results also up 11%. That's just traditional universal life. Oh, by the way, whole life sales actually declined. So again, the focus is on UL and IUL, at least for 2021, and I feel it's going to be the same, if not more, for 2022. Let's just see real fast, another pointer that I want to mention. Okay, term life insurance, another increase, 4% in quarter three, 7% up year to date. Okay, so term life is up as well. Okay, and then this last paragraph here, and then we can move forward. So I always say, and I tell all of our agents this, if you've listened to me on my podcast or the webinars, I say that right now during a pandemic, and I've said this for the last 19 months, there's no better time to be a life insurance agent. And the reason why, everyone is talking about COVID. These young families, right, and older families, it doesn't matter, right? They're looking around the dinner table, okay? And a lot of people are working from home right now. So they're having conversations. What if mommy or daddy or grandma, grandpa get COVID and don't make it? Are we going to be okay? You know what, Bob? Or you know what, Susie? Do we have a life insurance policy in place? You know what? We better reach out to that crazy Billy life insurance guy that keeps marketing to me every month, right? Because Billy kept his name in front of his family, friends, network, and community. So you want to make sure that you're top of mind right now. And here's why, proof in the pudding, COVID-19 raised Americans' awareness about the importance of having enough life insurance coverage. Our research finds more than a third of consumers, okay, 36% of all consumers said they plan to purchase coverage this year. Our sales results suggest many are following through on this, okay? But again, opportunity, there's 102 million Americans living with a life insurance coverage gap, meaning they don't have enough coverage where they might not even have a policy, okay? Opportunity is there. It's never been bigger and stronger than today. You're in the right place, okay? It's huge. It's huge. Okay, let's move forward here, Andrew. And by the way, again, we're going to send this out in our thank you email today so you can read up on quarter three results from LIMRA. All right, now, this is the most important slide to me of today. And the reason why is because in the life insurance industry, in any industry for that matter, right, as a human in this country, it's all about giving back, okay? And in these times with Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year's, you have to do, it doesn't have to involve money. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be a volunteer work. It could be time, effort, whatever it is. I feel like we all have to do our part, okay? And as Levinson active agents, okay, all across the country, you are doing your part just by working with us, okay? And you say, well, how is that, Bill? Okay, I'm going to show you how is that, Bill. Okay, left side, Feeding America. So for Thanksgiving, we donated 1,000 meals through Feeding America. Okay, how did we do that? We did that because of our successful relationships with our agents, okay, which obviously that means you all, right? Without our agent relationships, we wouldn't be able to make the donation. So my hat goes off to each and every one of you for helping Levinson, helping these underprivileged families and children across this country, okay? Because that to me is huge. Even though 1,000 meals, when you look at the entire country, it's not that much. I feel like we did our part, okay? And by the way, we're going to do more and more every single year, and that's my promise to you, and we're on record right now. So there's no getting out of that. We have to give back. Let's scroll over to the right side. Okay, this is what we're doing on Saturday. So we are an official sponsor of the Toys for Tots South Florida Toy Rally. Okay, hosted by the United States Marines Corps. Okay, so this is a big one. We sponsor the event. Plus, what we do is we bring in a total of about $1,000 worth of unwrapped toys for young boys and girls across the country from underprivileged families. Okay? It's huge. We're only able to do this stuff because of you all. It's a fact. Because of our employees, because of our agents. So my point is you all owe yourself a pat on the back because without your business, again, this couldn't happen. Okay, we're going to share pictures in the next 411 from the event. So anyway, I'm very proud of it. I know I'm sounding a little excited about it. I love giving back. I feel like at the end of the day, that's what life's about. And it doesn't matter if you're making $100 or $1,000 or $1 million or $1 billion, you have to do your part, period. Let's move forward, Andrew. All right, what's new at Levinson? So I'm not going to rant because Jason's coming up in just a few minutes, but there are a couple things I want to talk about real fast. So let's move over to the left side, the Levinson Holiday Annuity Contest, okay? Family feast for up to 12 people if you're writing index annuities with us, okay? Bestow, that's our Insure Me Now Direct product, and it's term up to $1.5 million. It's issued in less than 7 minutes, 100% direct to consumer, and you are agent of record. There's no referral fees here, okay? You're just like as if you're sitting across from someone at a kitchen table, same thing as your client going on your Insure Me Now Direct site and buying a term policy. You have complete control because you're agent of record, okay? Okay, Great Western has a contest there, $200, 5-play step, SureBridge, $25. This is a big one on the bottom. So the Levinson Expo is back in 2022, April 8th. I hope you registered. Okay, you're going to join over 300 agents from across the country, our top carriers. But most important, actually it's not most important, but it's important, it's free for everyone, number one. Even if you've never written an app before and you're new, all life and annuity premium counts towards you qualifying for a free night at our beachfront resort during the expo. And you can qualify for your beachfront room up to 2 nights in round-trip airfare. We pay for everything, okay? Get in that life and annuity premium. If you're writing annuities with another IMO, for example, okay, why not transfer over to us, make more comp, use that premium, and have a nice little vacation for you and your spouse for the weekend, right on the ocean in South Florida, okay? No brainer. All right, middle section there. Banner Life just reduced term rates again. Transamerica's IUL plan lowers fees. They have a nice little niche there on the annuity side. Delaware Life, new to the mix. On the bottom, we have a brand new $100,000 virtually guaranteed issue term product just launched on Tuesday. In fact, yesterday, actually. Okay, so make sure you're set up with that as well through Levinson. Let's move over to the right side. We have the new podcast episode. As you know, I do one of these every single month. And the next one, which I'm recording tomorrow, is from Neandre. So Neandre is our host. He's a SVP from LSW. Okay, he's got a great story to tell, younger guy. And we go back to him growing up and how he got in the spot where he is today at such a young age. He's got some really, really neat stuff to share. I think everyone is going to walk away with some nuggets, some great sales ideas, and product info. Carrie's Corner, again, volume 16. We'll include that in today's thank you email. We have our social media tip of the month. Right now, if you're not marketing on social media, I hate to say this, you're driving a horse around New York City in 2021 during a pandemic with a mask on, okay? So the point is, you must be present, okay? Remember the young family sitting around the dinner table saying, Mommy, Daddy, do we have life insurance if something happens and you want to be top of mind? Well, the only way you're going to get out there is through Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. It's free. You have to have a page. Okay, I'm not saying you have to be one of the top influencers with 22 million followers. Okay, but your friends and family should be on there. Okay, get creative, get scrappy. There's never been a better time. The SBA Loan Sales Concept Flyer is now available. I'm going to go over that on a slide. That is a slam dunk term life sale every time you bring it up, period. And you're going to see why in just a few more minutes. Let's jump into the next slide here. What we wanted to do was give you a 100-foot overview on all of our top IUL and GUL carriers, okay? And they say proof in the pudding. I just proved to you, right, that IUL and UL is blowing up right now. A quarter of all life sales are from IUL and GUL 2021, okay? That means you better know enough to be dangerous. So here, this is our hand-selected core carrier list. And what I wanted to point out here, every single company with the red asterisk means they are qualified for the SAGE Scholarship Program. Okay, then we have our IUL sales software that you can utilize. It's a presentation system that allows you to explain to a client how and why an IUL is needed for that prospect. Okay, very cool. It's the only carrier compliant software available today. Okay, most of those companies are approved. And again, red asterisk is SAGE approved. Bottom left corner is Columbus Life. That's what we're talking about today. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our sales RVP. Mr. Jason Graham is joining us, and we have, again, some great stuff to talk about and great nuggets to walk away with. Jason, are you there, buddy?
I am, Bill. I appreciate this so much. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this monthly web call with your agents. And yeah, we'll just let's get started. First off, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. For those that don't know me, I am Jason Graham. I'm Regional Vice President for Columbus Life here in Florida, and I am in sunny Orlando, Florida. So I'm a little northwest of Bill's office, but not too far away to make a nice drive. Just want to say thank you for those that are currently appointed with us, that have done business with us this year. Really appreciate that so much. And Columbus Life is just like in Bill's agency. We're having a phenomenal year. I think everybody is with coming off 2020, but I think just the conversations about flight to quality and working with carriers that are doing the right things at the right time is really kind of the storyline that's going on. And obviously, Bill had brought up all those numbers that we're talking about with LIMRA, and those numbers are pretty much in line in terms of the growth that we're seeing. For those that are not too familiar with Columbus Life, we are a mutual holding company that was founded in 1906. And we were acquired by Western Southern back in the early 80s, and we're part of Western Southern's family of companies, which also include Gerber Life and Lafayette Life, and among other things. But Columbus Life, even though it says Columbus, we're based in Cincinnati. That's where Western Southern is based out of. And so I'm just here to kind of talk a little bit about us as a company, some opportunities where we might be a fit in your practice, and we'll just kind of take it from there. So, so this is kind of a little bit of the agenda that we're gonna touch on about Columbus Life. As Bill mentioned, there's a couple of exciting things that's going on with us that we're getting some traction in, and just kind of putting more arrows in your quiver, so to speak, to be out there to find the right situation, find the right solution for the clients that you're working with on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our external term exchange program, which, as Bill mentioned, there's not many carriers that are doing this anymore. I worked with one prior company that did it years and years ago and got away from it, but it's just one of those things that's just not out there anymore. So I think that there's some opportunity, particularly for a lot of your clients that may have some term policies that have really great convertibility options, that you may want to consider looking at us. We also have a true table shave program. It's back up and running. We kind of had to do a little shuffling with that with COVID back in 2020, but now we're full back onto it, and we'll talk about some opportunities with that as well too. But we do have an accelerated underwriting program. We'll touch a little bit about that in terms of the guidelines, what needs, what's done, the process, and so forth, and give you kind of a profile of the type of client this is going to fit for with that. And then finally, we'll leave with a sales idea. Not a lot of people, survivorship IUL is really not on a lot of people's radars because a lot of people feel like that's more of an estate planning, estate tax solution. But you'll be surprised that there are a lot more accumulation sales that are happening with this type of product, and there's not many carriers that offer this product. So we're going to talk a little bit about a strategy called late to the party LIRP, life insurance retirement planning. So with that, let's get started. So our external term exchange program. Let's talk a little bit about what that is about. So the program is set up just like this. The amount of coverage that you can exchange into is from $100 to $1 million in coverage. Age range to be eligible for this is from age 18 to 65. And this bullet point is important because we can't take a term policy that obviously has been in effect for 15 years or 12 years and so forth. So this bullet point is really kind of the crux of this. At least a standard or better rating, and it was issued between six months to 5 years of the application date when it was turned in. So this is a great opportunity to kind of revisit some of the term policies that you've done within the last 5 years and see if there's an opportunity that they want to convert. And if so, like if their convertibility options are not available that are not attractive, this could be an opportunity to talk about us. The existing term has to be in its contractual convertible period. So if it's if it's outside of their convertible period, then unfortunately it's not eligible. But if you're talking 5 years out, there's not going to be that big of an issue for that. Preferred or standard existing policy issued within the last 5 years, talked a little about that. And this is an exchange. So it's an exchange to any of our permanent products. So in your eyes, on the individual side, that would be our individual IUL product, our current assumption UL product, and our guaranteed UL product. All right, so what are the guidelines to this? First, the full amount or the lesser amount may be exchanged. No increases are considered. Cannot do partial exchanges. It's got to be an all or none. Unfortunately, we're not a New York company, so anybody that is an applicant in the state of New York, unfortunately, this is not going to be available. Policies that are issued simplified basis, guaranteed issue, or any part of any special underwriting or table shape program are not eligible. So it means they have to have gotten a fully underwritten, true standard or better rating on the term policy that they applied for and got with the carriers that you were working with. Term policies that are currently on disability waiver are not eligible. Term riders on the permanent policies are also not eligible. Just to kind of hit on a couple of, these are really kind of the things where that won't be able to come over. So, if they, this is important too, because if those riders are important that you have with a term policy, then it may not something you may want to look at us from that perspective. But if it's a bare bone term policy that has convertibility options, that's where we're gonna shine at from there. Obviously, the insured has to be a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. So you may ask, all right, well, Jason, what carriers are eligible that we can do this? So this is by no means not a representation of all the carriers that we'll allow. These are the ones that we have kind of already done the venting out process and so forth. But we will consider other carriers that are not on here. So take a look. This is a good list to start from in terms of term policies that you might have done with these carriers over the last 5 years. Might be a great opportunity to look at some conversion opportunities, exchange opportunities where they can do a permanent policy with Columbus Life. Okay, next question is going to be on our table shape program. So here's how our table shape program works. It's available on all of our permanent products or individual permanent products. So UL, GUL, no lapse UL, current assumption UL. As long as the client is between the ages of 20 and 70 and their rate class is no worse than a table 3 or C, they will be able to shave to a standard rating. As you can see, there are some minimums along with that. The maximum is of 1 million in coverage. Our minimum is 25,000. Any cases that are facultatively with our rate insurers are excluded from the program. This only counts for new business. So if you have an existing policy that's already issued, that's with us, we're not going to be able to do that. This really is a great opportunity to talk to clients and improve the pricing of the coverage that they need, particularly if there's a permanent need on there. Like Bill had mentioned, you're literally saving 20 to 40% costs just by really doing your job as an independent agent to find the product and the company that's going to be willing to give you the ability to get the right product and be able to help from an underwriting standpoint. Because if anybody can see me, I'm not, I'm 6'3", 275 pounds. So obviously I'm not going to be a preferred status. And there's a lot of people in this country that are not that way, but they shouldn't be hurt by that when they're applying for life insurance. And so I think our table shave program creates a great opportunity with those clients to be able to get affordable permanent coverage and be able to help them from an underwriting standpoint. So Jason, you may ask, well, Jason, what does this mean? What could be the difference in terms of that? So the next couple of slides, including this one, is I wanted to pick out 2 ailments that I know come up quite a bit, where there may be some opportunities you may want to consider with regards to looking at us from a table shave program and potentially getting your client a permanent policy with Columbus Life. So this first one is, someone that may have a mood disorder, depression, or anxiety, bipolar, whatever that may be. Obviously 2020 did, a great amount of damage, to people out there, both, people that have lost their job, but also people that didn't lose their job but had to work at home, and just the whole mental anguish that's been put into their minds in terms of, being able to deal with all that was going on. So, we've obviously, not only us, but any other carrier in the industry, I think there is a lot of people that are battling with, these type of mood disorders and so forth. But what is interesting is if you look on the right-hand side, this is coming straight from Columbus Life's underwriting guidelines that, on the potential underwriting decisions. If you look at under depression and bipolar disorder, you can see in years 2 and 3, if they've been able to control it, they're the best that they could potentially get, bar anything else that's going on with them, is a table B. So this would be a great way to talk to one of your clients that may have battles major depression or bipolar disorder, and they've been able to control that over the last 2 or 3 years or more, that they could potentially, bar if there's not everything else being equal, if everything else is okay and it's just this ailment, they can potentially get a standard non-tobacco rating with us as opposed to a table B, even maybe a table D, because some of these things can be like a borderline CD range from that standpoint. So again, look at, for those clients that you may know that may have some level of anxiety or depression. If it's well controlled for the last 2 or 3 years, this could be a great opportunity to start looking at us for a permanent policy standpoint. The other one that I've been seeing quite a bit as well too is diabetes. Obviously, we're in a country that likes to eat, likes to do a lot of things. From a technology standpoint, we don't like to get up and about. There's a good and bad to all of that. Well, obviously, the numbers of cases of diabetes has gone up, and obviously that can have a tremendous impact in terms of the type of policies that you can get for people that have diabetes. But what's very interesting is if you look at on the underwriting side, the potential underwriting decision for type 1 diabetes that are insulin dependent. Between those age ranges on best cases, there's a potential for a standard rating with us for diabetes if they're insulin dependent. can be, if as long as they're between a B and a C and within those age ranges, and bar anything else out there that may be kind of out of control, maybe everything else is normal, there's a great opportunity where we could be looked at from a diabetes standpoint to to give a pretty low cost product to your clients. And then on the type 2 diabetes, same story. Best case, somebody has kept it well controlled. In most cases, that's come around table B, table C. Well, guess what? If they're under the age of 70, applying for up to $1 million, potentially could get through our table shape program with with just having diabetes and keeping it well controlled. So I just wanted to highlight kind of two ailments that I see quite a bit, where there might be some opportunities where you as an agent may want to look at us from an underwriting standpoint to best position a policy with Columbus Life. All right, so next let's go to our accelerated underwriting program. How this works through our accelerated underwriting program, it's all EAP and it's on our permanent individual permanent life products. Age ranges are from 20 to 55, up to $1 million, between $1 million and $1 million with of coverage. You can get the riders on there, like our waiver, as well as our accelerated death benefit rider, which covers for terminal, chronic, and specified medical condition, or in the state of California, it has to be called critical illness, for no cost. And you have to keep in mind that if they have coverage already with us, that's going to factor in how much they can actually apply for through our accelerated underwriting program. So in order for someone to be able to do the accelerated underwriting program, they have to do the full application EAP, answer all the medical questions. Home office will do a predictive analytics score, determine based on that if they are eligible to move forward with regards to going through our accelerated underwriting program. If they don't get a passing score through that, then in that case, the full underwriting will take place. But as you also can see, if they do pass, we're going to proceed by ordering these following reports. Potential for a phone interview. So I would recommend to coach your clients about having a phone call, and that's a phone call directly from Columbus Life. If somebody is not able to pick up, we do leave a phone number that they can call back to the company to do a short phone interview. What's also really good about the accelerated underwriting program is that all rate classes are available. Standard is the minimum, but you can get all the way up to super preferred with us. Those that are rated, unfortunately, would not be eligible for the accelerated underwriting, but they could still proceed to go through full underwriting with us. So it's not one of these deals that they're going to get, if they didn't qualify accelerated underwriting, that their case, that they would be postponed or declined or anything. They would just have to go through the full underwriting process. So knowing a little bit more about our accelerated underwriting program, what's kind of the profile, the type of client that would work in this particular situation. So we have a nice little checklist here that you can use. It's also part of our flyer, which I know that Bill and his office have. But this is a good way to identify if someone is a candidate for our accelerated underwriting program. As long as they're between the ages of 20 to 55, their need for permanent coverage is between $1 million and $1 million. They're within the recommended height and weight limits. No major medical conditions. Finances are strong. No bankruptcies in the last 5 years. Clean motor vehicle report. No criminal conviction in the past 10 years. So as long as your clients fit those boxes, there's a great opportunity where you can put a quality, low-cost, permanent policy in the hands of your clients. So there's more to this, but I want to just kind of really hit the high points with regards to with our accelerated underwriting program. So I'm going to end with a sales idea. Like I mentioned to you before, a lot of times, especially in the IUL space, like Bill had brought up with LIMRA, and the numbers are just crazy in terms of the growth that's happening there. Is a lot of IUL is being sold as these LIRP concepts or life insurance retirement plans. Now the need is obviously, it's not necessarily for death benefit, it's more about using the vehicle of life insurance because of its tax favorable treatment within the IRS code. So it's more about what the client wants to put in to buy the least amount of death benefit, which is all good and great. But what happens from time to time when you're dealing with this is sometimes you just can't get to the client at the right period of time. Because as you know, like anything else with LIRPs, it's all about getting to them to give them enough time to have the buildup of the cash and the income to come out of the policy. Now, and that's ideal for somebody that you meet in their 30s and 40s. But when you meet with somebody in their 50s, maybe early 60s, it starts to look a little lackluster because they just don't have enough time. You have the time value of money fighting against them, because you really want to put a lot more time into these policies to grow, to build up cash, and really provide the amount of most income that you can get on a tax favorable basis. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a scenario. We've got a Robert, who's a 55-year-old successful professional in good health, looking for life insurance solution and wanting some additional retirement cash flow. Death benefit is secondary to him, but he likes the idea of having it. He's married, has a wife that's 50 years of age that's also in really good health. Challenge is, obviously, they're 50 and 55. So, Robert's time horizon's probably 10 years. He's probably ready to retire in 10 years, which, is not necessarily a bad thing for him. But, for us, if we're trying to deploy this concept of a life insurance retirement plan, it doesn't give us a lot of time to build the best product, the best tool to get him what he needs. And so, he's really committed that he wants to put $20,000 a year into this. Looks like in this case, he wants to retire at 70. So even with that, 15 years, that's a good time, but that's not amount of time. There's maybe some different ways that we can do this. So I'm going to introduce our survivorship product. Now, with the survivorship product, that's not going to help you with regards to the whole time value of money conversation, because you're still going to have the same amount of time that you're putting this money into the contract and trying to build it out. But what you can do is reduce the overall cost of the policy, because if a lot of you know how survivorship works, the pricing on the survivorship is going to be cheaper than an individual. And the reason for that is the carrier knows that the death benefit is not going to get paid out as soon as an individual policy is. You're waiting for 2 lives to pass away to pass that along. So again, on the insurance company side, they see that as a time value of money. Well, if it's 30 or 40 years down the road that they're not going to need this, we don't need to take in as much cost to be able to provide that death benefit upon death and so forth. So let's just see kind of how that would look, looking at our individual IUL product versus our survivorship IUL product. So you're going to see our individual IUL product is called Index Explorer Plus. And what we did is we showed that $20,000 a year going in for doing it just on the male and doing it just on the female. Obviously, the female is going to produce more income because she's younger, and obviously females tend to live longer than males, so the cost is going to be less than a male. But it's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, they put $300,000 in. They've got $355 in death benefit for the male, $521 for the female, and they're pulling out income. On the male, just under $38,000. On the female, it's $41,000. Okay, so not too shabby. It's not bad. Okay, but is there something we could do to give them a little bit more and still meet their objective of being done in 15 years? That's where the survivorship comes in. And as you can see, at a 55-year-old male, 50 female, we put that same $300,000 in. Our death benefit is initially higher, but look at that income. Between the male and the male only and the survivorship, you got well over $10,000 more in income per year. Whereas on the female, you got more than about $7,000 a year. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is it's okay to meet with clients that are late in the game and doing a concept like this. If you really want to maximize what they're trying, what you want to do with them with these types of plans, you should consider like a survivorship IUL product. It's going to have the same bells and whistles as an individual, but you're leveraging 2 lives that will help with the overall costs on the contract. Now, I didn't put this in here, but survivorship on LIRP type of designs is also really good for table rating cases. So to give you an example, and I'm sorry I don't have the numbers here, but just keep this in mind. Yes, we do have the table shade program, but when you're dealing with people that are younger, maybe in their 30s or 40s, the one thing that's going to be, I guess, a wrench that busts the machine in terms of doing this is their underwriting, because time value of money is going to be there, but if they're not in the best of health, that's going to impact what builds up in cash and income down the road, and it can be significant. So what I did is I did a male 42-year-old and a 40-year-old female, both table D with us. And then I solved for the income based on the premium they were putting in. I think it was $20,000 a year as well, funding it to age 65. Now the income coming off the male was about probably $88,000. And then on the female was about $92,000 for 20 years. So, again, not too shabby. But when I put them as rated cases on the survivorship, my income went up to about $105,000 a year. And because the table rating, even though it's a bad rating, that table rating didn't have as much of an impact on the survivorship policy than it did on the individual policy. And so to give some perspective on that income number from the survivorship, on that male 42, even if I put him at a super preferred on that individual policy, still couldn't touch the income that was being generated on 2 table Ds on the survivorship. So again, that's where survivorship can play a great role in the alert conversation for people that you're meeting that are later on in the point of their lives, or those that are young enough, the type of clients you want to deal with, but they may not necessarily be in the best underwriting state to be able to do an individual policy. So hopefully this maybe have created some ideas and maybe some clients that you're approaching to talk about that maybe survivorship would be an opportunity to talk to them about. So that was really as much as I was going to go through it. I just wanted to be cognizant of time in terms of your patience and being able on here. I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be on this call this afternoon. And if you have any additional questions or anything like that, I'll be on for the next couple of minutes. If not, obviously you can run everything through Bill in his office, and we'll be glad to help him out.
Awesome. Good stuff, Jason. I appreciate that. What we're going to do, we want to end in about 7 minutes here. So we're going to get everyone's questions answered, and then we can pull Jason back into a conference call, another webinar, basically whatever needed. But that was spot on. That was exactly the message I wanted everyone to hear. And don't forget, you're going to get a thank you email with the brochures, marketing pieces, contracting, and everything else needed before we leave tonight. Okay, if you don't get it, let us know, and we will correct your email address and get it sent right out. Okay, Andrew's going to take the wheel. What I want to do is share some of the value add platform strategies that we put together. Some of these are brand new, and then we're going to have our question of the day and the giveaway. Andrew, you there?
Yep, thanks so much, Bill. Appreciate that. Want to quickly go over how everybody can get started today. If you like what you saw, whether you're with us for Columbus Life or not, that's what Bill said earlier is perfect. You can do our cash for contracting incentive where we match or beat your level, bring you over, get you going. So this is a screenshot of our IUL Experience sales platform. Many of you have already started using it, but many of you haven't. But this is all things IUL, everything you need from product material to case design support to prospecting to learning center. Everything you need is in one spot for Levinson agents, and it's absolutely free. You can go to IULExperience.com, use your Levinson login. We have our awesome sales software that Bill mentioned earlier, and we will pay for that if you're writing IUL premium with us. This is the only carrier compliant illustration presentation tool in the industry. So it's a real unique value add that you can bring to the table, but definitely check out our IUL Experience, and we will be sending out the link to a point, as Bill said, this afternoon, so you can get started. Moving forward here, we have some new training and marketing material available for you, and this is big. Columbus Life, we just added a learning center on demand through the IUL Experience, right? So everything that you just heard from Jason, if you like it and you want more information, Great. The best thing to do is invest that time into training and understanding the portfolio. So we have videos that talk about, IUL and competitive analysis and that LIRP strategy that Jason went over, and, IUL myths and the tax advantages. So we have hours of content and marketing material just on Columbus that you can leverage on demand through the IUL experience. So this is big, and part of the IUL sales software is you'll get training and coaching personalized, and it's non-carrier specific. So if you also want to get involved in that, you can let us know. We'll send a link out as well, but this is big stuff. Last up for me is quickly, I'll go over some of the lead options that you can use to generate some more IUL activity. On the left-hand side, this is the book that we were talking about earlier. So this can be co-branded with your information, or you can just buy them with our bulk discount as is. But that builds a lot of credibility and it tees up that sale. So that's a big deal. On the right-hand side, of course, you can leverage our mortgage protection and verified lead programs, okay? We know that verified leads and mortgage protection leads, those are business owners. Those are people with good income, good credit. Those are your ideal index universal life candidates, right? So it's a nice door opener to get to that IUL opportunity. So we will send that information out as well, but be on the lookout. And also at the top, we have a new mortgage protection lead coming out early Q1 next year with our 20% guarantee. So stay tuned for that as well. I'm going to get it back to Bill for our new SBA Loan Concept. Bill?
Okay, good stuff. So I promised I wanted to share 2 sales strategies that, in my opinion, are what we call a lay down, right? So real quick, we know what's going on in the country with small businesses, right? So outside of our industry. And everyone right now, right, I shouldn't even say everyone, but a lot of small businesses are applying for SBA loans, okay? Well, the approval, from what I hear, is pretty quick, but you need a life insurance policy, right? In case you, meaning the business owner, passes on, they want to make sure that the loan gets paid off, okay? So you can go on a public site and get a list of these members and market to them as the ultimate life insurance term policy, right, for your SBA loan that will be needed. And you can literally create your Insure Me Now Direct site and kind of gear it and position it towards that, right, that concept, and give maybe some example quotes. The client can click on your site, run a quote, fill out the e-app, get approved, save and print their policy, okay? And obviously, they have to present it to the SBA loan officer. This is all done in less than 7 minutes while you're sleeping. So I would be marketing this all over the place, right? They don't have time to wait 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks for an approval on a life insurance policy, okay? So you have to start thinking like that, okay? That's what I call my scrappy hat, and that's doing whatever it takes to be successful, okay? Another no-brainer. Think about this concept, right? If you're working the senior market, especially right now, grandparents, okay? Parents even, it doesn't matter, young or old or middle-aged. Andrew, can we go to the next slide? This is the ultimate door opener, right, for gifting, okay? There's children, grandchildren out there, and what do they want for Christmas and Hanukkah? The Nintendo PlayStation, 17.9, right? The latest version, that's $800. Okay, well, I'm going to show you a better option than a PlayStation. Okay, which, by the way, I'm sure in 2 years, will be sold on eBay or Amazon or whatever it is. So check this out in front of you. This is an example of the ultimate door opener using the Columbus Life IUL product combined with our free scholarship program. Okay, so let's take a look at this. And again, we're going to include this chart in our thank you email, but just real fast, female, age 2. Okay, total premium outlay, $60 a month, okay? $60 a month. Ultimate gift from a grandparent or parent for their children or grandchildren, okay? Now, watch this. Let's move around a little bit here. $60 a month, okay? We have an increasing death benefit, started at $50,000, as you can see. As the years go on, let's scroll down to the end of year 18 when that child is entering college, okay? Death benefit is $65,000 with a cash value of around $15,000. Okay. The weighted average interest rate, 6.45, very strong. Now, here is what is amazing, in my opinion. Okay. So in the scholarship program, 441 colleges across the country today. Okay. So now let's scroll down to 20 years when this child or grandchild is going to need this money, right, for college. Okay. 20 years out. Now, that $60 a month investment turns into a total cash value of $15,100, we'll call it, okay? On top of a $43,000 scholarship, totals just over $58,000 to be used for and towards a 4-year tuition at any one of our colleges across the U.S. So you're talking about a total premium outlay of just over $14,000 with a total value of almost 60 grand to be used for college. Plus, you still have this IUL in place, in force for that child or grandchild's future. Okay? So this, to me, is the ultimate gift. Look at that return. 14.4 turned into almost $60,000 in 20 years. So any grandparent or parent they're not going to say no to this. Okay, they all want to look at, the state college fund. They want to look at different scholarships. They want their kids to play sports so they can get a partial scholarship, whatever it is. So you're coming in as Superman or Superwoman. You're making a commission, obviously, plus a renewal, right? Plus you're offering something no one else can, the ultimate differentiator with A+ Columbus Life and the SAGE Scholarship Program only through Levinson. Okay? Slam dunk, no brainer. Okay, almost done here. Let's move forward. Distribution solution is another great concept, right? If you have clients that maybe younger professionals, they're more interested in tax savings solutions, okay, or retirement planning, cash accumulation. Okay, Mary Reed, we work with her as a consultant. She's also our keynote speaker at the Levinson Expo. She's brilliant, by the way. She authored 3 bestsellers. Okay, that, by the way, I'm also going to give one out to today's winner, one of her books. If you have a great consumer, we'll make the introduction and she will jump on the phone with you and the consumer. She'll do all of the heavy lifting and literally make the sale for you. Her average case size is about $160,000 of target premium or commission for you. Okay? No brainer. If you're interested, check out the webinar, the podcast I did with her, and obviously be at the expo. And you will hear her speak live for 1 hour with a bunch of sales ideas and strategies around her concept. Okay, Bill Levinson Experience Podcast. These are the top 5. This is what's so cool here. Jorge Solar, right? This is a guy that sat in my conference room 2 years ago, just came here from Cuba with nothing, okay? And he just won the World Series MVP with the Atlanta Braves. He is a rock star, and I interviewed him for 1 hour. You talk about a humbling story where you can learn some nuggets, some new information, ways to stay motivated. It's amazing. Plus, we have top agents from around the country, Gary Vaynerchuk, just amazing stuff. It's all free for you to take advantage of, okay? Left side, talk about IUL sales strategies. We reeled in the top IUL sales coach, Mr. Joe Ross. We have an awesome webinar training series with him, and we have a new webinar coming up that we're going to introduce as soon as we are done on today's training. Okay, next slide is future webinars that are coming up. Now, every day of the week, Agency Automator. On the bottom, here's a big one. We handpick the top final expense carriers, products, underwriting strategies, lead programs, basically everything you need to know when it comes to final expense selling in the end of this year and the beginning of 2022. You must be on that call if you're interested in the senior market. Next up and last, we have our Positive Tuesday quote and our question of the day. I'll do our quote first. When all is good, putting forth the extra effort is simple. But finding that extra gear when all is not so good is called success. Okay? I call it hashtag whatever it takes. Getting scrappy, coming up with new ideas, SBA loan protection, okay? Ultimate door opener for children and grandchildren. Come up with these ideas. Start marketing these concepts on social media. Come up with a YouTube video. It's free. There's no reason to not do this these days. And everyone's eyeballs are on Facebook, okay? Let's face it. My grandmother, who passed recently, okay, she had a Facebook page at 93, 94, 95 years old. Everyone is on there. So it's a shame for you not to have an online presence. Okay, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's driving a car in reverse if you don't do it. Question of the day. So make sure your little fingers are on the keyboard and you are ready to rock and roll, because this is an easy one, but you got to be quick. Whoever answers first and correct wins. Again, your choice, tablet or Echo, and IUL Prospecting Book, and Mary Reed's Distribution Solution Prospecting Book. Okay, so it's a nice little grand prize here for the holiday. Tell me, what is the latest count? What's the total number of colleges in the SAGE program in the U.S. today? I said it like 3 times. How many colleges are in our SAGE scholarship program, which is free, by the way, for you all and free for your clients? Tell me the magic number. How many colleges in the country are part of our SAGE scholarship program? Andrew, do we have a winner?
Yes, we do. First to answer correctly is Nathan G. Nathan G is the first to get it.
Nathan G. The answer was 441 colleges. We're adding 2 to 3 every single month. We're going to email out the list of colleges so you can get familiar, okay, and start to put together your marketing strategies so you can have the best year ever in 2022. Thank you so much for taking the time, okay? Thank you, most important, for helping us give back to Toys for Tots, Feeding America. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, right? It's a win-win-win. Helping you, helping families, helping all of the above is the bottom line, right? That's the way I look at it. Do the right thing. Do what's right. Keep your right foot on the gas. Have a great rest of the week, a great weekend, good selling, and thank you again, everyone.